Friends, we, not just me, we are going to be singing, and I'm going to trust that you can learn quickly. Words were going to appear in the bulletin but didn't. So this is a song, Sing a Rainbow, that works into our theme for the morning. Brenda dropped me an email and said, I'm thinking about light and rainbows. If you got anything that fits in there. And I couldn't ask for two easier subjects to find music for, Brenda. So Sing a Rainbow. I want you to think for a moment about that concept. Sing a rainbow. Not just see a rainbow, not paint a rainbow, but sing a rainbow. Bring to life in that way. The song urges us to listen with our eyes. So I'm going to sing it all the way through once, and then the second time through, the lyric says about halfway through, sing along with me, and then goes into listing colors. And I hope that you'll sing along with me at that point, the second time through. Interestingly, this is a Peggy Lee song, and it's also a song that Andy used when he was teaching at the elementary school level to teach children their colors. And I can't think of two more disparate sorts of musical use than Peggy Lee, one of my favorites, but not somebody I'd probably want in a first grade classroom, and using it for Sing a Rainbow. Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. I can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. Listen with your eyes, and sing everything you see. You can sing a rainbow, sing along with me. Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. Now we can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. I can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. Listen with your eyes, and sing everything you see. You can sing a rainbow, sing along with me. Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. Now we can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. There you go, Mark. You've got your summer choir.
I was reading a history of Rich Square meeting this week. Rich Square is in eastern North Carolina, Northampton County, and this history covered a couple hundred years, and at some point there's a section on Quaker support of education. The schools they started, the ones that morphed into public schools as time went on, this sort of thing. And they said at one moment of the 125 or 30 people in the meeting, if I'd known I was going to say this, I would have written down the numbers, but I didn't know until moments ago, of which like 35 had been school teachers or were at the time. And as I said here, I could tell who had been an elementary school teacher by who was singing the words to the song. And I'm sure nobody ever learned it anywhere else. I had never heard it. It was an introduction to, for all of us, to the topic of light and color that we are told we're going to be thinking about today. And for me, a confirmation of the continued interest of Friends in education. So maybe a librarian or two, but mostly elementary school teachers. You are welcome. Each of you is welcome today, irrespective of, really irrespective of anything. Irrespective of everything. You're welcome if you were here last week and the week before and the week before that, or if you've never been here before, or if you were came for a time and have been away for a time and have returned. You're welcome, irrespective also of your gender, sexual identity, where you came from, your immigration status. You're welcome. And if I say something else about something I read this week, you're going to think I've read way more stuff this week than I did. But in the late 19th century, Henry Wilbur, who had been a religious nomad for a time, had found his way to Friends, and spoke and wrote about how it is the new people who come to Friends that enrich us. If they're enriched too, wonderful, but that we need to be aware of and open to. So if you are here for the first time or are young to this experience, we hope you're being nourished, but we know that you are nourishing us. We're going to have a period, as we typically do, of open worship later, where if you are moved to speak out in the silence, we hope you will. That period will end a little bit early today for some attention to some other matters at the end at the rise of service, close of service. And if you didn't think you were welcome otherwise, we will feed you as soon as this meeting for worship is over. Let us stand as you are able and sing together, Celebrate the Inward Light, hymn number 149.
Good morning, friends. I am Brenda Esch. I'm the pastoral minister here at New Garden Friends Meeting. I'm seeing a lot of folk who have returned after a long absence, after some travels, and so glad to see you. This week, I was in charge of printing the bulletins. And I chose on purpose to print fewer because we had a lot of leftovers in recent weeks. So if you didn't get a bulletin this morning, that's me. I'm going to tell you very specifically some things that are in the bulletin as we go to let you know. This morning's reading is from Beauty, The Invisible Embrace by John O'Donohue, from a section called The Rainbow as Prism. We take daylight for granted, yet daylight is not simply there. It is an event, a smooth, all-pervasive happening. Daylight is created light, a light woven seamlessly from a whole series of colors. The unnoticed miracle of everyday light is exposed in the rainbow, an apparition that is both illusory and tenuous. Connemara, where John lived, is a landscape beloved of rainbows. Between the rich light and the frequent rains, rainbows love to appear there. Every rainbow is a revelation. The optic through water drops that separates seamless daylight to reveal and display the secret inlay of colors that dwell at the heart of ordinary light. The attempt to understand and explain color has always fascinated the human mind. In classical times, Aristotle's theory held that color belonged objectively to things. This understanding held sway until the 17th century. One day, in his room, a young Isaac Newton was experimenting with light. He placed a prism against the light ray coming through his window and noticed how the prism split the white light into its constituent colors. The genius of his intuition inspired him to place a second prism upside down in the path of the diverse colors. In that moment, the colors coalesced again into a seamless white light.
Over the Rainbow is probably one of the best known songs in the Great American Songbook. And if you are of my generation, you grew up watching The Wizard of Oz as if it was a religious event each and every year, right around Thanksgiving. And Danny Kaye was the host, as I remember, and that really dates me. If you're of my mother's generation, and Mom is 93, you saw it on the big screen. You saw it in the theater. You saw it at the very end of the Great Depression. You saw it at the very beginning of World War II. You saw that film at a time that was as tenuous and as uncertain and as potentially frightening and devastating, perhaps even more, than the time we live in right now. Rainbows are a symbol of hope and have been for century upon century. Are they illusory? Or are they real? Are they simply a reflection of our hopes? Or are they a path to those hopes? Over the rainbow. When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leaning from your window pane. to a place beyond the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles drop like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why, oh, why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then, oh, why can't I? If happy little birds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
There is a moment, usually after rain, when the sun may come back out low through the clouds and something ordinary becomes extraordinary. Water in the air bends the light, and the light, which was a moment ago invisible, colorless, simply light, bursts into red and orange and pink and green, purple and yellow and blue. Have you seen rainbows here after the afternoon storms this week? We may not be in John O'Donoghue's Connemara, but we have been getting some glimpses. I feel like I have seen at least hundreds of rainbows in my lifetime. And they always lead me, this will not surprise you if you know me, to a feeling of giddiness. Neighbors in Wilmington once came out of their houses because they heard me whooping. Just me. The sun had come out to the west, and I was looking down our eastward street at the dark clouds that were still raining on the beach a few miles away. And there was a wildly startling double rainbow. Who would not whoop? They kept wondering about what this Quaker was, and that was one thing they found out about Quakers. Apparently they whoop at rainbows. The last full rainbow that I saw was in my daughter Annie's neighborhood in Philadelphia. We'd been caught in the rain without umbrellas on our walk home through Fishtown. And when the downpour started to abate, we continued with a kind of fun determination, not caring about getting more soaked by the rain that continued to fall, but also not thinking about rainbows. Regardless, boom, there it was. Full, enormous, suddenly spanning the whole sky in this urban landscape. And out came those neighbors and passersby and shop owners, and we were suddenly a community, a diverse community, all so happy to be there. Some people in cars kept going carefully through the hubbub, and they were part of the whole too. Where minutes before there had been just daylight and then a downpour, the rain lightened and the sunbeams shot through. The rainbow was just sunlight at a particular angle with some water sprinkled in. The rain and the light together revealed what was already there, every color held together, visible, dazzling. But maybe the giddiness I feel at the sight of a rainbow goes beyond the dazzle and actually extends into an embodied sense of connection, a recognition of a united reality, a moment that satisfies the yearning for communal connection, whether in human or more than human form. Because we are all the colors. Each of us bends the same light differently. We are different colors from the same source. And the rainbow is not the rainbow without all of them. It takes the entire spectrum for the arc to be whole. And together, we are also and always pure light. funnel the rainbow back into a second prism like Isaac Newton did, and we see that the colors coalesce back into unity as one light. The colors were never separate from the light. They were the light, showing us its fullness by showing us the parts that make up the rainbow. It was reading about that experiment a couple weeks ago that really captured my heart and allowed me to tell John way ahead of time that we were going to talk about rainbows. Something was going to come. The idea of flow from the state of white light to every color and back into white light. Consider how this may add to our image and our experience of the light. When we are holding friends in the light, are we imagining a rainbow? When we hear, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Let your light shine before others." Are we imagining a rainbow? And if the rainbow is every color, born of one light and returning to one light, what is that light, finally? In the quote on the front of the bulletin, and if you're a visual learner, you'll want to borrow one if you don't have it. In the quote on the front of the bulletin, Cynthia Bourgeot helps us think about this. She names the light plainly as the very heart of the mercy of God that eludes all human definitions of time and space. And friends, when this section of her book, Mystical Hope, emerged a few days ago, after many days of contemplating the rainbow, it was gasp-worthy. Listen to the rainbow. Listen for it here. She says, "I saw how time, all our times, are contained in something bigger, a space that is none other than the mercy itself, a vast, gentle wideness into which all possible outcomes, all our little histories, past, present, and future, all our hopes and dreams are already connected and mysteriously already fulfilled." The great mystics, here it comes, have named this as the heart of the mercy of God, the intuition that the entire rainbow of times and colors, of past and future, of individual paths through history is all contained, flows out of and back into that great white light of the simple, loving presence of God. For me, this led to a quick intake of breath and a long pause. She is deftly picking up the imagery of Isaac Newton's experiment and threading it through with time and space and mercy. And in that mercy, nothing is exempt from belonging. Nothing is lost. Not the paths we did not take, not our possible futures, not the ones we've lost, not the children never born, not this present moment. All of it is quietly held. All of it is safe. The whole rainbow, every era, every color, every path, all that has been and all that is yet to come continually flows out of and back into the great white light of the simple, loving presence of God. If this is true, no wonder that when we see a rainbow, we recognize it, resonate with it, tear up with wonder, woot with glee, sigh with its promise. That rainbow, whether it is a wisp or a vibrant double arc, whether we went looking for it or it suddenly and unexpectedly appeared, is an honest reflection of unseen truth, a revelation of what is all around us, the simple, loving presence to which we all belong and to which nothing can ever be lost. May we experience the light that reveals the rainbow and shines also through us, unhidden, unafraid, illuminating, and whole. We will now settle into waiting worship. If you are moved to speak, please come to a microphone or unmute. Say your name so that all may hear.